And sisters, I'm coming before you because there's an urgent call to action as we see the crescendo of everything building up. Many of us will be faced with hard decisions, but we have choices to make, and I just wanted to go over things that Yah is pleading with us. He's pleading with us. So as I go into Deuteronomy 29, verse 9, he says, and he's telling us, therefore, this is Moses, keep the words of this covenant and do them, that you may prosper in all that you do. So what is the covenant? We're going to go to Deuteronomy 5, and then we're going to jump back to 29, because I want to go over the covenant. That way we're not oblivious to what are the covenant. So he says here in Deuteronomy 5, the Yah, our Elohim, made a covenant with us in Horeb. And what is this covenant? It says here, Deuteronomy 5 and 6, I am Yah, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourselves a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is on the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, Yah, your Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of Yah, your Elohim, in vain, for Yah will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy, as Yah your Elohim commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath to Yah your Elohim. On it you shall not do any work, you or your sons or your daughter, or your male servant or your female servant, or your ox or your donkey, or any of your livestock, or the sojourner who is within your gates, that is your male servant, your female servant, may rest as well as you. You shall remember that you were slave in the land of Egypt, and Yah your Elohim brought you out from there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm. Therefore, Yah your Elohim commanded you to keep the Sabbath. Honor your father and your mother as Yah your Elohim commanded you, that your days may be long, and that it may go well with you in the land that Yah, your Elohim, is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. And you shall not covet your neighbor's wife. You shall not desire your neighbor's house, his field, or his male servant, or his female servant, his ox, or his donkey, or anything that is in your neighbor's. And these words Yah spoke to all your assembly at the mountain out of the midst of the fire, the cloud, the thick darkness, with a loud voice. And he added no more. He added no more. That is important. And he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone and gave them to me. Yah actually wrote this himself. That's how much he loves us. So we're going to go back to Deuteronomy 29, because he's going to emphasize this love that he has. And like I was saying before, we're going to jump down to 17. And you have seen their detestable things, the idols of wood and stone, of silver and gold, which were among them. Beware, lest there be among you a man or woman, or clan or tribe, whose heart is turning away today from Yah, our Elohim, to go and serve the gods of those nations. Beware, lest there be among you a root bearing poisonous and bitter fruit, one who, when he hears the words of this sworn covenant, blesses himself in his heart, saying, I shall be safe though I walk in stubbornness. Meaning you're going to do what you want regardless of what the covenant requires us to do. and you say you're going to still just go against the covenant. Though I walk in stubbornness of my heart, this will lead to a sweeping away of moist and dry alike. Then y'all will not be willing to forgive him. So this is an unforgivable sin. When you hear the covenant and you still refuse to obey and come back to the covenant, he said he's not willing to forgive him, but rather the anger of Yah and his jealousy will smoke against that man, and the curses written in this book will settle upon him, and Yah will blot out his name from under heaven. Now I'm going to go to the Easy Read version so you can get a better understanding of what he's saying here. And he goes on, and I'm going to go back up to Deuteronomy 9:29 and 9. If you obey all the commands, remember the covenant I just read, you will continue to succeed in everything you do. Now do you see, when you read different translations, you get a better understanding. And that is one of the things that the Gentiles did. When they translated our Bible, they translated it into the King's language. And when I began to study, I realized that I didn't speak the King language. So I began to get into a version that I speak every day, which will be like an English version or something I could look up, because when you're speaking a different language, they have different meanings to it. And that's a whole nother story in itself about the language. But just keep that in mind when you choose a translation. And you should choose something that you can read and understand. Okay? And so he goes on, Deuteronomy 29:17. You saw their hated things, the idols they had made from wood, stone, silver, and gold. He says, be sure that there is no man, woman, family, or tribe here today who turns away from Yah, our Elohim. No one should go and serve the gods of the other nations. People who do that are like a plant that grows bitter and poisonous fruit. Some people might hear these curses and comfort themselves by saying, I will continue doing what I want. Nothing bad will happen to me, but that attitude will bring total disaster. Yah will not forgive them for that. No, Yah will be angry and upset with them and punish them. Yah will separate them from the tribes of Israel. He will completely destroy them. All the curses that are written in this book will happen to them. They are part of the agreement that is written in this book of teachings. And so Yah said this is an unforgivable sin to hear this covenant and refuse to do it. So we're going to jump over to Jeremiah 5:7, because he actually reiterates this very point, believe it or not. And I'm going to come from Jeremiah today, and that's why I'm jumping over here. So I apologize for jumping back and forth. But again, the book is not in any particular order. But what Yah has established, he said these things 2 and 3, 5 times, folks. So I try to stay with the thought of what I'm presenting. And so he goes on to say, and he's, like I said, he established this in Deuteronomy 29:17-21. So he says, Yah says, people of Judah, why should I forgive you? Your children have abandoned me. They made promises to idols that are not really gods. I gave your children everything they needed, but they were still unfaithful to me. They spent their time with prostitutes, meaning with other gods. He looks at this as whoredom when we're with other gods. And so I'm going to go to Jeremiah 1. And I'm not going to be before you long, because I'm not here to, I'm here to just show you what's written. And then if you don't understand, I try to bring it to, I try to simplify it to how the Gentiles brand what they're doing today. Because what they're doing today, they don't label it how it's written in the book. But just because they rebranded it, just because they renamed it, they're still committing the same actions. And believe it or not, before we get started with Jeremiah 1:11-12, I'm going to actually show you something that was really astounding to me. And I want to go back to Deuteronomy 32. And I'm going to read this. And this should hit home with many. This should hit home with a lot of us who have experienced this personally. He says, in the streets, soldiers will kill them. In their houses, terrible things will happen. Soldiers will kill young men and women. They will kill babies and old people. And so when I read that, to me, I see that as being rebranded as no knock warrants. And the reason why I say I see this as being no knock warrants, because although they don't call police soldiers, they do not. The police purposely come into our homes when we're in our deepest sleep, and we've seen many no knock warrant people dying, not just men but women, babies, and the elder. See, old people, elder. We've seen this with our own eyes. And like I said, the Gentiles label that as no knock warrants. But the Most High told us when we don't follow the commandments, this is what's going to happen to us. They're going to come into our houses uninvited. Okay, so let's go back to Jeremiah 1, because I want to establish something. I have said some things in the previous video about the Most High being telepathic and things of that nature. So I just want to actually bring it out and show you in the scriptures where he says these things. And he lets us know that he sees our mind. He sees everything about us. He knows the beginning from the end. So I just want to go over that. And then it says here, Jeremiah 1, Yah's message came to me, Jeremiah, what do you see? I answered, I see a stick made from almond wood. Yah said to me, you have seen very well. I am watching to make sure that my message to you comes true. So he used a almond wood stick to say that whatever he said, he was going to bring it to pass. And so when you think of almond wood, I know many don't think of paper, but yeah, paper comes from trees, folks. And our scriptures have been written on paper. So the Torah and the Tanakh has been established on paper. And Most High is overseeing that to make sure this Torah and Tanakh comes to pass. So this is how I see things. You may see it differently. And if you do, please feel free to drop it down in the comment box. Because I'm not here to just be, the way I see it is the right way. No, because we all have different experiences. And that was one of the things the Most High began to explain to me as I was going through my tribulation, because that is what opened my eyes to see the scriptures in today's format, in today's captivity. As I was going through different tribulations, and I began to see how the Gentiles rebranded things, I began to see the scripture a little bit more clearer. I really did, through those tribulations, believe it or not. So I'm going to jump over to Jeremiah 3:22. This is where Yah is pleading with us to come back to the covenant. He's pleading with us, and he pleads several times in the book of Jeremiah. Because, like I said, this is an urgent call to action, folks. We got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, because it's go time. It's go time. And so, and I know you hear that popping sound. Maybe you don't, but I'm cooking, so I'm going to have to step away for just a second, and I'll be right back. Sorry for that brief pause of silence. And you may have heard me in the background, but yes, I'm cooking. I'm trying to prepare for the Sabbath, so I'm not cooking on the Sabbath. And so back to Jeremiah 3:22, he says, people of Israel, you are unfaithful to me. We're unfaithful because we're not doing the law, statutes, and commandments, folks. But come back to me. See, he's saying it straight to the point, no chasers. But come back to me, and I will forgive you for being unfaithful. Just say yes. We will come back because you are Yah, our Elohim. All right? And so he's pleading with us. And so I'm going to go over to Jeremiah. And I'm going to switch it over to the English Standard Version because I want to go over to Jeremiah 4. And then we will go from there. Again, I'm not going to make this very long. I just want to read 1-2. He said, if you return, O Israel, declare Yah, to me you should return. If you remove your detestable things from my presence and do not waver. And if you swear as Yah lives in truth, in justice, and in righteousness, then nations shall bless themselves in him, and in him shall they glory. And so I'm going to go over to Jeremiah 4:28, where, and I mean, you guys can read this whole chapter. Y'all can read all this on your own. I'm just trying to make a quick point, because this is an urgent call to action. For the earth shall mourn, and the heavens above be dark. For I have spoken, I have purposed. I have not relented, nor will I turn back. All right? And so he's saying he does not change. And you know where else he says he does not change? Do you know where else he says he does not change? I'm going to go over to the easy read version. And he says, so the people in the land will cry for the dead. The sky will grow dark. I have spoken and will not change. I have made a decision and I will not change my mind. Where else does he say he does not change? Malachi 3:6. See? So the book is there. He says, I am Yah. I don't change. You are Jacob's children, and you have not been completely destroyed. So this is a point where I'm showing where this particular scripture wasn't even cross-referenced to Jeremiah. But when you start to read and you begin to live the commandments, you'll see the cross-references without the book giving it to you. So I'm going to go back to Jeremiah 5:1-31. And this is a really, really 5:1-31. Says the evil people of Judah. And he's laying out before us what we're doing wrong. Then Yah says, walk the streets of Jerusalem, look around and think about these things. Search the public square of the city. See if you can find one good person, one who does honest things and who searches for the truth. If you find one good person, I will forgive Jerusalem. The people make promises and say as Yah lives, but they don't really mean it. See, using Yah name in vain. That's the commandments. Yah, I know that you want people to be loyal to you. You hit the people of Judah, but they did not feel any pain. You destroyed them, but they refused to learn their lesson. They became very stubborn. They refused to be sorry for the bad things they did. And so this is why I went over that stubbornness in Deuteronomy 9:29-17-21, because he talks about our stubbornness. But I said to myself, it must be only the poor who are so foolish. They have not learned the way of Yah. They don't know the teachings of their Elohim. So I will go to the leaders of Judah. I will talk to them. Surely the leaders know the way of Yah. Surely they know the law of their Elohim. But the leaders had all joined together to break away from serving Elohim. So a lion from the forest will attack them. A wolf from the desert will kill them. A leopard is hiding near their cities. And so these are nations. These are nations and their symbols. When he's talking about lions and wolves and leopards, these are nations and their symbols. Okay, to tear to pieces anyone who comes out. That's because the people have sinned again and again. Many times they have wandered away from Yah. Yah says, people of Judah, why should I forgive you? And we read this earlier where he's talking about this is an unforgivable sin. Your children have abandoned me. They made promises to idols that are not really gods. I gave your children everything they needed, but they were still unfaithful to me. They spent their time with prostitutes. They are like horses that had plenty to eat and are ready to mate. They are like a horse that is calling its neighbor's wife. Remember adultery? Should I punish the people of Judah for doing these things? This message is from Yah. You know I should punish a nation such as this. I should give it the punishment it deserves. Go along the rows of Judah grapevines, cut down the vines, but don't completely destroy them. Cut off their branches because they don't belong to Yah. The family of Israel and the family of Judah have been unfaithful to me in every way. This message is from Yah. Those people lied about Yah. They said he will not do anything to us. Nothing bad will happen to us. Remember, y'all say y'all living under grace. Y'all ain't living under the laws. Y'all living under grace. See, this is what he's talking about. They said he would not do anything to us. Nothing bad would happen to us. We would never see an army attack us. We would never starve. And I will say, go ahead and read all of it to 31, because it really goes into more depth about what he's going to do and the bad things that's going to happen. And actually, I'm going to jump over to Jeremiah 6, because he's getting ready to release his anger, and we getting ready to see the explosion today as Biden has given out a message from the Oval Office, and this is an inflection point. So this is why I'm calling this the urgent call to action, because this is important, folks. So we're going to go to Jeremiah 6, and then we're going to jump down to 9-14. And I just want to read this is what Yah all-powerful said. Gather the people of Israel who were left on their land. Gather them the way you would gather the last grapes on grapevines. Check each vine like the workers check each vine when they pick the grapes. And I know I check my grapes. I eat grapes for the Sabbath, folks, and I be checking them. I be checking to make sure they ain't got nothing bad on it. If it looks bad, deformed, I do check my grapes. But he's calling us his chosen grapes, okay? But who can speak to? Who can I warn? Who will listen to me? The people of Israel have closed their ears, so they cannot hear my warnings. They don't like Yah's teaching. They don't want to hear his message. But I am full of Yah's anger, and I am tired of holding it in. Pour out my anger on the children playing in the streets, on the young soldiers gathered there as well. A man and his wife will both be captured. This is what's getting ready to come upon us, folks. Right now, right today, with the inflection point that the POTUS said from the Oval Office, as well as the old people. Their houses will be given to others. Their fields and their wives will be given to others. I will raise my hand and punish the people of Judah. This message is from Yah. All the people of Israel want more and more money. All of them, and that's what you call getting a bag. That's what we say. We say we getting a bag. We getting a bag. He said all of them, from the least important to the most important, are like that. Even the prophets and priests tell lies. They should bandage the wounds my people have suffered, but they treat their wounds like small scratches. They say it's all right. Everything is all right. Oh yeah, they done made songs about everything's all right, but it's not all right. And so y'all is making it clear it ain't all right. All right. So I'm gonna jump down to 16 and read through 19. And I'm not gonna be before you long. I really do have a lot to share, and I'm gonna stop this recording because I do have to get to work. My shift starts in about 15 minutes, but I just wanted to get this particular video out because what I have written down is a lot. It's a lot. So this is what Yah says. Stand at the crossroad and look. Ask where the old road is. Ask where the Torah is. See, the old road is the Torah. The old road is Tanakh. Okay? Ask where the old road is. Ask where the good road is. The good road is the Torah, the Tanakh. Remember, you do all these commandments and everything else will be a success. Deuteronomy 29 and 9. Okay? If you do, you will find rest for yourselves. But you people have said, we will not walk on the good road. I chose watchmen to watch over you. I told them to listen for the sound of the war trumpet. But they said, we will not listen. So listen, all you nations, and pay attention. you people in those countries. Hear this, people of the earth. I am going to bring disaster to the people of Judah because of all the evil they plan and because they ignored my messages. See, for y'all to be ignored, he don't take that slightly. That's a slight to the Most High to ignore his messages when he's calling us to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, folks. They refuse to obey my law. Remember the covenant from Deuteronomy 5? You go to Exodus 20 and read the covenant. And he's telling us we refuse to obey his law, and this is a slight to the Most High. This is a slight to him. And I'm going to stop it here, and I will pick this up again. And we're going to continue in Jeremiah on part 2, and I will try to get that out today. But right now, I just wanted to bring just these few nuggets of, look, today we're going into the Sabbath. Rededicate yourself. Repent. Be sorrowful. Cry out to the Most High, because we're getting ready to go into some tumultuous times right now, and it's undescribable, okay? And I'm going to be back, and again, I'm going to pick back up in Jeremiah, and we're going to continue reading, because I have several more notes that I wanted to go over, because y'all are still pleading with us. So, shalom and be strong. And like I like to end my videos, I believe it's on Psalms 20:1 through 5. And this says here, all right, may Yah answer you in times of trouble. May the Elohim of Jacob protect you. May he send you help from his holy place. May he support you from Zion. May he remember all the gifts you have offered. May he accept all your sacrifices. May he give you what you really want. May he make all your plans successful. We will celebrate when he helps you. We will praise the name of Yah. May Yah give you everything you ask for. Shalom.